through deception and coercion. The incident quickly spread through social media and community networks, leading to a large-scale protest outside the accused residence. Approximately 200 to 300 members of the Sikh community gathered, demanding justice and confronting police officers who were protecting the property of the accused. Videos from the scene show crowds chanting and clashing with authorities, echoing frustrations over perceived failures in addressing such crimes. The girl was eventually rescued through community intervention, but the event has reignited debates on systematic child sexual exploitation and targeted ethnic violence against Sikhs. The case bears hallmarks of grooming tactics commonly associated with organized exploitation: initial befriending, isolation from family, and escalation to violent abuse. The Hounslow assault is not an isolated event, but part of a reported pattern where Sikh girls in the UK have been targeted by men of Pakistani origin for grooming and sexual exploitation. Let's take a look at how the accused was in fact caught. So, this is a very worrying case over there in the UK, and in fact people have protested a lot against this. This seems to be part of a grooming gang, and let's look at how the accused was in fact caught in this London gang rape case. So, the community firstly alerts and they led to rapid mobilization of Sikh residents in Hounslow after the teenager was reported missing. So, we know that the teenager was first abducted, then the Sikh community mobilized itself through communication. Around 200 to 300 people actually then were involved. Hundreds of Sikh community members gathered outside the 34-year-old Pakistani man's flat in West London, protesting loudly. So, what they did was they gathered outside the residence of this alleged accused, and they started protesting over there. The large crowd surrounded the building and demanded the girl's release while confronting the suspect directly. So, they knew that the girl was inside the residence of the 34-year-old man, and they demanded that he release her. In fact, you can look at those videos that are playing on your screens as people outside over there, and pressure from the protesters and confrontations forced the suspect to back down and allow the teenager to be freed safely. So, you can see there was a lot of police deployment as well. The authorities were also in place. They were trying to maintain law and order, and then he was forced to in fact release the teenager. A Sikh individual's initial confrontation with the accused revealed additional claims, including an attempted kidnapping of a younger child. So, this is what you can see the video over there. A Sikh man actually confronted him and came to know that there is another younger child who might have been involved in this entire grooming case. The ordeal finally ended after hours of chaos, as the girl was safely removed from the flat by community members. So, you can see the people over there outside the room, the door, they are asking that 34-year-old man to in fact release the girl he has abducted. So, finally after hours of chaos, the girl was finally and safely removed from there. The police also arrived on the scene amid the standoff, and subsequently took the main accused or suspect into custody in a police van. So, finally the police arrived. They also took this man into custody to further investigate. He is still only a suspect, and an intense nighttime video released by the police and shared widely shows Sikh protesters on motorbikes facing riot police in the rain. So, there is also a video that is surfacing on social media, which shows Sikh members actually riding a bicycle. They are confronted by the police in the rain. The video captures the outraged crowd demanding justice outside the home before the suspect's arrest was actually confirmed. So, people finally made sure that the voice was heard, and after that the suspect was in fact captured. Now, investigations continue into the alleged involvement of up to 6 other men but the initial capture stemmed from community intervention rather than police-led operations. So, this is what is the focus, that community intervention led to the arrest of a suspect, not police action, and there are still up to 5 people who are still to be identified, who must be in fact involved in this case. So, joining us right now on the broadcast is Zeenat Shaukat Ali, women's rights activist. Thank you so much, ma'am, for joining us on the broadcast. We appreciate your time. A very good afternoon to you. Ma'am, when we are looking at such incidents, it come across as a very familiar case of grooming of young girls. There is first initial friendship that they do, then there is isolation from the family, and finally we have such violent crimes being reported against them.
Yes, you are absolutely 100% correct, and you know, it is a highly condemnable act that has taken place, and what is happening has to be taken full cognizance by the law and order situation. You see, so the whole point is that this is not something that can be taken lightly. Why has the police, because this has been happening time and again, and it's deplorable. It's completely deplorable, and it cannot be taken lightly. You know, these Pakistani grooming have, and the full thing. I quite for that you know, several things happening. Place and
ma'am, I believe there is some issue with your network connection. If you could, you know, move to a place which has better connectivity, and if you could also comment on, you know, how community intervention actually led to the arrest. The police action did not lead to these arrests. There were people of the community who have finally had enough of this entire grooming gang, men of Pakistani origin targeting Sikh girls, and finally when they intervened, this young teenager could safely be rescued, ma'am, but the police over there not taking any action.
It's quite shocking that, you know, the police should not take any action on this, and that, you know, you still leave people like that, you know, roaming on the streets. The law and order situation, I thought, in London is far more, they are very vigilant, and especially where women are concerned, they are very careful. Things like this are constantly happening. Like I have seen in the messages that you have sent me, that this cannot, it is deplorable on the part of the police to start with. It is deplorable on the part of the rapers, and as they are Muslims, under Islamic law, you know, rape is punishable by death. It is a death sentence that, you know, is given. So the whole point is that the situation is such that, you know, one has to hurry up with this. You know, it has to be put on fast track, because, you know, Sikh girls cannot, and anybody would be outraged. We in India, and Indians are completely outraged at what has happened out there. How can such things happen in a city where the girls are cajoled, taken away, and, you know, raped, gang raped, and then, you know, put onto the market? It is a shocking, it is brutal, and it is shocking. And I completely and absolutely condemn this on my part.
All right. Thank you so much, ma'am, for joining us on the broadcast with that valuable perspective. With that, we are wrapping up this bulletin and slipping into a short commercial.